Hot. It's hot. It's still hot. Hot. So good though. God, that's so good. This is the bourbon chipotle. Oh my god, I could bathe in this. So good.
We had so many great meals on our cruise, both on and off the boat. But let's take a look at some of the restaurants that made the most impression on us, and in no particular order. Let's start with A-Town Bistro in Anacortes, a must-go spot whenever we're in town. We first visited A-Town Bistro in 2013 when we first started coming to Anacortes, and we were completely impressed from our first visit. But let's get some background on the restaurant from the fabulous Kate.
Welcome to A-Town Bistro. We will be celebrating our 13 years of being open this coming February. And we're definitely a restaurant that was, I think, in need. Our owner originally, she was the president of the farmers market. And she had a lot of people coming through and saying, when are you going to open another restaurant? And so this was kind of a passion project that started with really kind of focusing on all the beautiful abundance that the Northwest has to offer as far as produce and seafood and different, local butchers. And so it was open sort of as a passion project to cater to our local farmers. So we're really about community and supporting the community and the local farms. And I always call it sort of like our chef's playground. But I think one of the keys to our success is we are definitely family oriented. Like, we all truly love each other. We spend time out of work. We work really well as a team. A lot of us have been here pretty much since the inception. I've been here 11 and a half. Our baker's been with us 12 years, which is fantastic too, that we try to source everything in-house. So all of our breads, our crackers, our desserts, even some of our cheeses are being made in-house. Even like our pâtés, all of those things are made right here in the restaurant.
When I come in here, I never know what cocktail I want, and I put myself in their hands, and
Yeah, so just like our menu, our dinner menu, we also have a seasonal cocktail menu. So that changes with every season. That's a fun time for our staff to kind of think of, when it's summer, maybe a more fruit-focused cocktail, or in the winter you want something warm and savory. So we always try to keep that in mind when we're preparing different cocktails, and it allows us to play as well, which is really fun. But yeah, our owner really, it was his passion project, so he was really into the craft cocktail movement and sort of brought that to Anacortes. And we actually get all of our glassware from like local mercantile, so they're all really fun, like some like vintage old like crystal glasses you might have seen in grandma's cupboard or collecting dust. You'll now find on our shelves. And I really think the community has caught on, and we actually have a lot of people that look forward to coming in and saying, this is what I like, what should I get? And they entrust us with that, to coming in for those menu changes. And they'll start at the top and work their way down. So it's been really fun. We definitely have a strong following just here right in our community, as well as even international. I have folks that anytime they're traveling, they make sure to stop in and see what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah, tell me about the clam chowder.
So what I love about our chowder, it's very unique. I jokingly tell people it's like a life-changing chowder, because once you've had this, like, you can't go back to like enjoying Igers quite the same way. So we use local clams sourced from Taylor Shellfish, which is out of Padilla Bay, up towards Bellingham. And those are served whole in their shell. And they're cooked down in a cream-based broth. We add house-cured pork belly, roasted potatoes, fresh herbs, a little onion and celery, and a fumet to the fish stock base. And we actually physically drive and pick up these clams. So they are as fresh as we can possibly offer. And then it's served with a house-made focaccia and pollo dipping schedule.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something that we are known for, because our menu does change quite often. That is a staple in our menu and has been since we opened. It certainly has a faithful following. I have people who travel from all over for this chowder. And I always say, if we ever took off the menu, I think people would protest.
And of course, we can't forget dessert. Always fresh and made in-house, including the ice cream. And with French press coffee to top off the meal. Amy is always impressed with the pre-warmed coffee cups. Next up, we have the Wheelhouse in Anacortes, which is a great spot for beer, pizza, and other pub-type food with a great nautical theme. If you order the full meal, they start you out with a very good large salad. We highly recommend the spaghetti and meatballs that is baked in the pizza oven, giving it a great crunchy texture, and it comes with garlic bread. Simple, good food at a very reasonable price. Westcott Bay Shellfish on Westcott Bay, San Juan Island is another establishment we've been to several times. A long-time working shellfish farm, it fell into disrepair until the current owners bought it and revitalized the farm, but also added a great dining area with unmatched views. When you land at the dinghy dock, you are immediately reminded that this is a working shellfish farm. The dining area is relaxed and scenic. Of course, the oysters and other shellfish are fantastic. You can get the oysters raw or cooked. We recommend a sampling of both. Beer and other beverages are available, as well as things like salads. And a trip to the net shed is great for any gifts or souvenirs you might like to bring home. Downriggers, right above the Friday Harbor Marina, is another favorite of ours. The views are great and the food has always been solid. Tables indoors and outdoors are available. Buzzy's Luncheonette in Ganges Harbor was recommended to us last year, but they were closing when we got there. This year, we made sure we got there. Twice. So let's talk with Daniel about it.
I'm Daniel.
And he's not Buzzy. Buzzy.
I'm not Buzzy.
He can be Buzzy for the day.
This is Buzzy.
There we go. Captain Buzzy.
Well, in tongue-in-cheek, Captain Buzzy.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I'm Daniel.
Okay.
So the Montreal smoked meat is our star. We cure and we smoke the brisket right here on the island. It's amazing. That's about the only way to say it. It's amazing.
We've had it, dude.
Yep, it's amazing. And so we put it on a lot of different things. We have a bunch of sandwiches that are featuring it, from an old school sandwich, which is just basically meat, bread, coleslaw, to a Reuben, which you're having one of those, which we call the Rabinowitz, which is, you know, the smoked meat under Russian dressing and a bunch of sauerkraut and melted under Swiss cheese. And that's, I mean, personally my favorite sandwich. We have been here 6 and a bit now. June of 2018.
Okay.
The smoked meat is really the deal. And yeah, we put it on a whole bunch of different things. We have things like latkes, which are a potato pancake. We do all sorts of other things like tuna, salmon, smoked salmon, and smoked turkey, which we also smoke here on the island. It's just the goods.
Definitely
the goods.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, just so we have live action on the camera.
Oh, exactly.
There you go, and right to you.
No, right to me.
Right
Oh, there
to
we
you.
go.
Right
Okay.
to you.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent. I'm not leaving. I'm staying here. I'm
So
staying here
if
with
you
him.
stay here, you have to start working the slicer. It's just the routine.
That sounds like a plan.
It's just the routine.
It might eat you out of your profits, though.
I mean, have you seen me? I'm in charge of quality control. Or on your Rabinowitz, Russian dressing, liberally. A lovely amount of beautiful sauerkraut. And that all goes in the oven, just like so. Get some toast in, you know.
Yep, it's a marble rye there.
Marble rye.
Where's that made?
It's a local baker in Victoria.
In Victoria, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we're a Jewish deli through and through, pretty much.
Right, yeah. Not a common thing in Canada.
Well, and
I'm
really
sure.
not common in the West.
No,
West
right,
Coast
exactly.
At all.
Yeah, East Coast, more of an East Coast, New York
Much
thing.
more.
Yeah, sure.
Much more. Ta-da!
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Really enjoy that. I
Thank
hope
you.
it goes down good.
It will.
We really can't say enough about how good the sandwiches are at Buzzy's. You just have to try it for yourself.
Okay, this place doesn't disappoint. This meat is so tender, and it's got the nice smoke flavor too.
Another spot in Ganges Harbor is the Oystercatcher. It has great outdoor seating overlooking the harbor, with a full menu of seafood, burgers, thin crust pizza, and much more. We highly recommend getting the roasted Brussels sprouts appetizer. It is also a great spot for a nightcap by the fire on a cool evening. We went to Costa del Sol at Powell River last year, and it was so good, we made sure to get there again on this year's trip. The food is fresh, authentic Latin cuisine and very reasonably priced. We'll be back again, no doubt. The Cedar Post restaurant at Blind Channel Resort is a Bavarian-themed excellent restaurant. The late Anna Marie Richter was the driving force of the restaurant for the first 12 years, and many of her signature recipes are still being used today. And she was also responsible for the artwork displayed throughout the dining room. We started out with a Humboldt squid appetizer with spot prawn aioli that was very tender and flavorful. I had one of the signature schnitzel dishes, and Amy had the BC lingcod and said it was amazing. And we shared a very fresh strudel for dessert. Our next restaurant is Indita Mia on the Theophos Waterway in Tacoma. The chips, salsa, and beans brought to the table was a meal in itself. It is an incredible Mexican restaurant with large, fresh portions at a very reasonable price. Amy had the birria tacos, and Robbie and I had the burrito, which were huge and flavorful. We shared a flan for dessert, though after that big meal we really didn't need it, but we just had to try it. When we left the Heritage Distillery in Gig Harbor, people recommended the Brimstone Smokehouse, so we had to try it. Amy and Robbie had the brisket tacos, and I had the fully loaded brisket, macaroni, and cheese. It was all very tasty, and it hit the spot. Buck Bay Shellfish Farm is a working farm on Orcas Island near the town of Olga that is open to the public. One thing that sets Buck Bay apart is that you can choose your own oysters. They will then take your oysters and place them on a tray of ice, and they're happy to give you pointers on how to shuck them. There is something very rewarding about shucking the oysters yourself. Next up, we have the Rapids Grill at the beautiful Dent Island Lodge. We started out with a cocktail and hors d'oeuvres in the main dining room before making our way out to the chef's tasting at the grill overlooking the tidal rapids. The chef explained each course, where the ingredients were sourced, with most of them being locally, and how they were going to be prepared. Every course was excellent, and although it's not an inexpensive meal, it was worth it for the once-in-a-lifetime experience. Well, Amy is pushing for it to be a yearly stop. Our next restaurant is Nonna Luisa's in Anacortes. We've had so many people rave about it that we just had to give it a try, and we're glad we did. It's a kind of Italian restaurant where the owner greets you at the door, and you can sit at a table or right at the bar. We could watch the kitchen from where we sat, and although it was very small, they were just popping out some excellent meals.
How's your dinner?
This is really good. And they talk about eating the marrow out of the bone. I think I'm going to do it. It's really tender, so good. Yeah, very flavorful.
I am having the lobster ravioli, and it has shrimp on top, and it is spectacular.
And again, despite being stuffed, we had to have dessert. The restaurant at the Sullivan Bay Marina is a very casual affair, very much like the marina itself. We were there on meatloaf night, which came with several side dishes. It's nothing fancy, just good old-fashioned comfort food. We're very, very full. That was a lot of food.
It was a lot of food.
Yeah, that was really good. It was a buffet.
Except they served you, so I would have served half as much on my plate.
Yeah, it was a lot of food. It was good. And last, but certainly not least, we have Sourdough Willy's, our favorite pizza place anywhere. Owned by international awarded pizza chef Will Grant. So since we were going to be in Kingston for Amy's family reunion, and for Robbie to be able to catch the ferry to Seattle and catch his flight home, we had to stop in. A few years ago, Will expanded the restaurant to open a spacious dining room overlooking the harbor. Besides pizza, there is a full bar with craft cocktails, and you can also get a salad to make you feel healthy before the pizza onslaught. An onslaught it was, as we ordered more pizza than we could eat in one sitting. Firstly, we wanted to try all the different styles, and secondly, we planned on having pizza aboard Pane e Vino for the next several days. Each pizza was excellent, and it's impossible to pick our favorite one, so I guess we'll have to keep trying them all. We had many more great meals on our cruise, but these were ones that stood out and we wanted to share with you. And we'd really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us.